Did 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After's Jasmine know she was pregnant during filming? I have a theory. Warning. The following contains spoilers from the 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After episode. It's a dogfight all the way home. Stream the episode with an HBO Max subscription and read at your own risk. 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After has essentially become the Jasmine Pineda and Gino Palazzolo show, but that's not a bad thing. The couple's messy road to divorce is by far the most compelling storyline of the season, especially since we know Jasmine will eventually get pregnant and expect a baby with Matt Branasterianu. I say eventually, because she's not pregnant yet within the show's timeline, or is she? The latest episode had me wondering if 90 Day Fiancé is intentionally frauding its viewers, and Jasmine already knew she was pregnant, and they just hadn't filmed the scene yet. Here's my theory on why, and it all begins with that restaurant scene at the beginning of their segment. Jasmine and Matt went to a wine bar, and she wasn't drinking. Matt made such a show of pointing out the name of the restaurant they were at, Prost, at the start of he and Jasmine's segment on 90 Day Fiancé that I had to look it up online. I managed to track down the website, but the fact it was a wine and charcuterie bar made me raise an eyebrow. Why would they go to a fancy wine bar, just for Jasmine to order a hot chocolate? It's a tried-and-true TV trope for a character's pregnancy to be revealed via behavioral changes, and even Severance's latest season featured that exact scenario. Did Jasmine know she was pregnant when filming this episode? I suspect that Jasmine wasn't drinking because she knew she was pregnant, but I did some digging and did find she's not much of a drinker as of late anyway. An Instagram post from December 2022 noted that while she was only a mild drinker in general, she had given up alcohol. It does lead me to question why Jasmine and Matt went to a wine bar if she wasn't going to drink under any circumstances, though the 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After producers may have just liked the location and thought it was a good place to film a scene. It's not unheard of for 90 Day Fiancé crews to set up scenes for people to shoot, and even have cast members who aren't supposed to be there lurking in the background. We know from the 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After Season 9 premiere that Jasmine and Gino's storyline took place 7 months before the last resort Season 2 tell-all, in which Jasmine was very far along in her pregnancy. Jasmine announced the birth of her baby 2 months after the tell-all filming, suggesting that she will find out that she's pregnant during the season of HEA. I wouldn't be so suspicious that Jasmine already knows she's pregnant in the latest 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After episode if there weren't claims that the franchise has faked scenes in the past. Take that, the lack of alcohol at a wine bar, and Jasmine being a franchise veteran, potentially because she's willing to work with producers to make her storyline as entertaining as possible, and I can't help but wonder. Ultimately, we may never know for sure. However, if we get a more grandiose scene of her announcing her pregnancy to Matt later this season, I'll certainly be suspicious. 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After continues Season 9 on TLC on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll see how Jasmine and Matt's relationship continues to unfold across the season, which might shed light on why she was living near a beach after filming completed. One 90 Day Fiancé star's struggles prove they need to be replaced. 90 Day Fiancé has many familiar faces throughout the various shows, and after years of struggling in their relationships, one star needs to rethink their presence, despite being a cornerstone of the franchise. While there have been many 90 Day franchise stars who have found love on and surrounding the show, some haven't been as lucky in finding, or keeping, a relationship. Although the point of being on the 90 Day Fiancé franchise typically isn't to find a relationship, but instead share a relationship that's already been found, many of the stars wind up finding love on the shows. Some who have come into the franchise in a relationship they're ready to be more serious about wind up struggling in keeping their relationships moving forward. As the international divide can be difficult for couples to broach, the 90 Day Fiancé stars who find themselves making it through their long-distance relationships and end up together on screen can be interesting to watch. Adjusting to being together in their real lives, some 90 Day stars struggle to stay steady, like one star who's had a tough time on their journey. Darcy Silva's had tough luck in relationships. Although Darcy Silva, who's been on the 90-Day franchise with her sister Stacey Silva for years, has been one of the most well-known stars, she's also had tough luck in relationships. Darcy and Stacey have both struggled in their own ways, but Darcy's journey has been more interesting than her sister's at times. Each of her relationships has been dramatic in its own way. Menu. One 90-Day Fiance star's struggles prove they need to be replaced. 90-Day Fiance has many familiar faces throughout the various shows, and after years of struggling in their relationships, one star needs to rethink their presence, despite being a cornerstone of the franchise. While there have been many 90-Day franchise stars who have found love on and surrounding the show, some haven't been as lucky in finding, or keeping, a relationship. Remove ads. Although the point of being on the 90-Day Fiancé franchise typically isn't to find a relationship, but instead share a relationship that's already been found, many of the stars wind up finding love on the shows. Some who have come into the franchise in a relationship they're ready to be more serious about wind up struggling in keeping their relationships moving forward. As the international divide can be difficult for couples to broach, the 90-Day Fiancé stars who find themselves making it through their long-distance relationships and end up together on screen can be interesting to watch. Adjusting to being together in their real lives, some 90-Day stars struggle to stay steady, like one star who's had a tough time on their journey. Darcy Silva's had tough luck in relationships. Although Darcy Silva, who's been on the 90-Day franchise with her sister Stacey Silva for years, has been one of the most well-known stars, she's also had tough luck in relationships. Darcy and Stacey have both struggled in their own ways, but Darcy's journey has been more interesting than her sister's at times. Each of her relationships has been dramatic in its own way. From her connection with Jesse Meester to her current marriage to Georgi Rusev, Darcy has struggled to find love that lasts, respects her, and wants to build a life. Despite knowing that she's currently in a marriage she values, Darcy's journey in the past has been genuinely difficult to watch for many viewers. Repeating tough patterns and allowing disrespect, Darcy's struggled. Darcy's dynamic with Georgi is concerning for the future. Although Darcy and Georgi are married, her dynamic with her husband isn't something that most viewers have been interested in keeping up with. Currently starring on 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Darcy allows Georgi to talk down to her in a way that's uncomfortable. 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 1, premiered on September 8, 2025. The TLC show features 6 couples starting their lives with their respective partners. One of the returning couples on the show, Jenny and Sumit, faced challenges after the duo moved in with the latter's parents. Sumit lives in a joint family dynamic, and they constantly surround him and Jenny. Before the show's premiere, TLC released a clip featuring the couple unpacking Jenny's clothes in the presence of his family, including Sumit's mom. She handed over some of Jenny's clothes to Sumit's sister-in-law, leaving Jenny aghast. While in the couple's joint confessional, Jenny shared how she felt. "Why is your mom going through my stuff? Jenny doesn't need it, you take it. Like, what the hell? Get out," I wanted to say, "get out of my stuff." Sumit showed Jenny his family home. Sumit's parents, along with his sister-in-law, Shri, were with them when they heard movers arriving with Jenny's belongings. She mentioned that they would start moving her stuff to their new place. As the movers arrived with various packages, Sumit's mom reacted. "Mom and other people are here. We don't need to hire." Sumit's mom was surprised to see how much of Jenny's stuff consisted of clothes. When she questioned Jenny, 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way star responded. She casually asked Jenny what the need for hoarding old clothes was. Jenny responded that she had kept those clothes for many years. Sumit's mom asked Jenny about one of the outfits. When she said it was too small for her, she handed it to his sister-in-law and told her to use it. Jenny asked Sumit why his mom was going through her stuff. He responded that living in a joint family meant that everything belonged to everyone. "But I would never just go through their stuff." "I mean, is this a cultural thing or is this your mom's thing?" asked Jenny. The clip ended with Jenny questioning Sumit about the situation, betraying the aftershock of a cultural clash. 90-Day Fiancé, The Other Way Season 7 cast and spoilers. buzzing with anticipation. With new faces joining the cast and returning favorites facing even bigger challenges, it is shaping up to be one of the most explosive seasons yet. Keep reading to see more details, including spoilers about the exciting couples. Patia, Texas, and Dylan, Tasmania, are among the new couples in 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 7. Patia, an exotic dancer, has been in an on-and-off long-distance relationship with her younger Australian boyfriend, Dylan, for more than a decade. Patia, Texas, and Dylan, Tasmania, are among the new couples in 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Season 7. Patia, an exotic dancer, has been in an on-and-off long-distance relationship with her younger Australian boyfriend, Dylan, for more than a decade. As Patia takes the leap to join him in Tasmania, the couple must navigate a 20-year age gap, cultural differences, and the everyday struggles of living together. Adding to the tension is Dylan's close bond with his mother, who happens to live just 5 minutes away. Luke, California, and Madeleine, Colombia, return to 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, bringing back the drama fans remember all too well. Their relationship has been marked by tension, with Madeleine's desire for a lavish lifestyle clashing with Luke's financial limits. The constant push and pull have led to frequent arguments and plenty of chaos. This season, the couple plans an extravagant wedding. But with their financial struggles and trust issues, will they make it to the altar, or will it put an end to their romance? Also making a comeback are Jenny, California, and Sumit, India. After years of challenges in their relationship, the couple has finally earned the blessing of Sumit's family. However, it comes with a cost. This season, expect to see Jenny and Sumit deal with new challenges when they take the big step of moving in with Sumit's parents. Greta, Oklahoma, and Matthew, England, met on a vegan dating app and instantly clicked. Greta moves to England to be with Matthew. However, what she doesn't anticipate is living under the same roof as her in-laws. Their living arrangement quickly proves to be more complicated than Greta expected. Will their fairy tale ending spiral into a nightmare? Chloe, Massachusetts, and Johnny, Aruba, may be one of the most intriguing couples in 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way, Season 7. Chloe met Johnny, a pirate boat tour guide, while vacationing in Aruba. Their whirlwind romance quickly took off, with Chloe ready to leave her life in Boston to be with Johnny. As things get serious, Chloe must deal with Johnny's flirtatious nature at work, her skeptical family and friends, as well as trust issues. Married couple Anthony, California, and Manon, France, are on the verge of breaking up. In a last-ditch effort to save their marriage, they decided to move to France. But with their financial woes, clashing families, and lack of personal space, the supposed fresh start may bring more stress for the couple. Will they be able to make things work for the sake of their child? Are Luke and Madeleine still together? All about their 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way return. 90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise stars Luke Berry and Madeleine Perez are back in the newest season of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way. Fans may remember watching 30-year-old Luke Berry fall for his Colombian vacation fling, 19-year-old Madeleine Perez, during Season 4 of 90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise back in 2024. Now that they're on their second 90-day show, Luke and Madeleine are preparing to walk down the aisle to prove that their love is the real deal. Scroll to find out Luke and Madeleine's relationship status, how they met, why Luke is moving to Colombia, and more. Are Luke and Madeleine from 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way still together? Yes, Luke and Madeleine are still together. According to the couple, at the start of the season, they have been engaged for about a year. Luke is finally ready to move to Colombia to be with Madeleine. Once he arrives, they only have 3 months before the big day. Since we last saw Luke and Madeleine during 90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise Season 4, Madeleine has taken up pageantry. She revealed, "I've been in 2 pageants, and in the second one, I win." She continued, "My biggest motivation is to show the world that beautiful women, we have brains and we deserve to be treated like the queens we are." How did Luke and Madeleine meet? Luke revealed during episode 1 of 90 Day Fiancé, The Other Way that he met Madeleine on a boys' trip to Madeleine's hometown of Medellin, Colombia. He shared, "We picked Medellin because we've been told they have the hottest girls there. My buddies and I downloaded a couple dating apps, and I met Madeleine literally day one." Less than a week later, he professed his love, and they started a long-distance relationship. The 90-Day star also confessed, "After 3 whole months, I tattooed her name next to my penis. I'm not the biggest tattoo person, but I wanted her to know that I was serious and she was the one." When did Luke and Madeleine get engaged? On June 8, 2023, 9 months after they met, Luke posted a video of himself proposing to Madeleine in front of a massive sign reading "Marry Me" at the end of an aisle of people who we can assume are close family and friends. A year later, he posted, "We have spent 23 months together where you are my first thought when I wake up and my last thought when I go to bed. I'm so grateful to have found a lifelong partner, lover, and best friend." He continued, "Happy anniversary, baby. You are my light at the end of the tunnel, my North Star, and my finest treasure. I love you to the moon and back and could not imagine my life without you in it. I can't wait for what the future has in store for us. I will celebrate every day I have you by my side and am happy for the months and years to come." Why is Luke moving to Colombia? In the season 9 premiere of The Other Way, Luke said it had been a year since they got engaged. As he put it, Madeleine is sick of the long distance. She's fed up with waiting. She's fed up with my excuses. And basically, she said you need to move to Colombia so that we can be together, or else. 3 weeks after he arrives in Colombia, Luke and Madeleine are set to get married, making his residency in the country permanent. 90-Day Fiance, Happily Ever After likely just revealed why Brandon and Julia publicly spoiled pregnancy news in the middle of the season. Warning: the following contains spoilers for the 90-Day Fiance, Happily Ever After episode. Shaken, not stirred. Stream it with a Max subscription, and read at your own risk. 90-Day Fiancé stars typically keep spoilers about their ongoing storylines off social media if they can help it, but occasionally, we get surprised by sudden reveals going public. Such was the case recently when Brandon and Julia Gibbs announced they're having a child, all while happily ever after. Season 9 is invested in a storyline revolving around whether she can actually get pregnant. I felt it was a strange decision initially, especially considering Julia's issues with fertility have been a part of their story since The Last Resort Season 2. After watching the latest episode, though, I think I know why they decided to publicly announce the pregnancy ahead of this latest episode. Julia didn't want to have a surgery that would increase her chances of a successful pregnancy. On the heels of Brandon and Julia having another fight regarding his parents, they went to a doctor's appointment to get a second opinion on whether Julia had fertility issues. They learned that a surgery to remove scar tissue could significantly increase her chances of a successful pregnancy, which thrilled Brandon. Julia, on the other hand, had never been under anesthesia before and wasn't sure she wanted to have the procedure. The couple may have publicly announced the pregnancy to limit fans' rude comments. 90-Day Fiancé fans are always talking on social media, and while I'm only speculating here, I can imagine Julia and Brandon didn't want to hear their thoughts on this ongoing pregnancy storyline when it's all behind them. Posting a picture of them happy and her with child prevents comments about Julia's fear of surgery, or criticism about Brandon pushing her into getting the procedure done. I can imagine the non-stop criticism from fans can be exhausting. Whether fans are griping about someone's mother-in-law or sharing their thoughts on someone's new lover, I'm sure the people involved are just wishing they could catch a break. Unfortunately, they are reality television stars, so asking for privacy is basically asking for a check to be withheld. I would wager the only way to know peace in that world is to give the audience something else to talk about, which is exactly what Brandon and Julia did with the pregnancy announcement. Now we can spend less time obsessing over whether they'll break up after getting married, and more time on how they'll be as new parents. For now, we'll just continue to watch 90-Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Although the result is spoiled, I still want to know the story behind Brandon and Julia's pregnancy, as well as what their parents think about it.